I just saw a picture of busted open Goldberg.
Yeah. All right. In three, two, one. Hello, and welcome to episode 241 of the WrassleCast. I'm your host, Don Delarente, and I'm joined by the Rawcast reporter himself, Samuel Kalunga. What's
Hey,
going on,
hey,
Sam?
what's going on? Just read that Muhammad Hassan actually came back to wrestling last year.
Oh, really?
Had no idea. Yeah, 2018, May 2018, he was somewhere.
Well, hopefully they don't have him doing the terrible gimmick that got him kicked off of American TV when he was
Like
one of the hottest things in WWE at the time.
the network was like, yeah, we can't have this.
uh, he's very talented, though. Too bad he couldn't
Yeah, I
make.
used to see him in OVW when he was like, forgot what, I don't know if he was going under his real name or what. But yeah, I saw him. No, I think was he Magnet? I don't know what the heck he was using. He was using a name, but yeah, I used to watch OVW a lot back before he debuted on WWE TV, and the guy was really good.
The WrassleCast is a part of the CSPN. You can find the CSPN on the web at www.cspn.us. You can also download and subscribe to the WrassleCast through iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, YouTube, TuneIn Radio, and any other podcasting platform or app. Just search WrassleCast. All right, Sam, you can take us away to Monday Night Raw live from San Jose.
More like live from Hulu. Now I'm gonna give you this Hulu review here, with the caveat that you must chime in whenever I miss something pertinent, and by pertinent I don't mean like Alicia Fox walking backstage.
Unfortunately, we haven't seen Foxy lately, but I'll make sure I'll try to keep
You know
the
what I
volume
mean?
out.
Like so and so arrived. I do have to say one thing though. This Hulu version is like a lot tighter and a lot more concise. And this was actually a good show because I watched the Hulu version. If I watched a 3 hour version, I don't know if I would be saying the same thing.
Exactly.
But like this, I was really impressed. I was like, wow, look what they do when they trim away all the bullshit.
You probably got about 90% of the bullshit out of it, and then about 10% of the show.
Yeah, I mean there was still a lot of horse shit in here, but it was okay. I mean, I didn't hate it too much. So, okay, so we start out with Seth Rollins comes down to cut a boring 20-minute promo. Apparently, he brought that chair with him all the way from Saudi Arabia. He talks about leaving Brock Lesnar laid out. Boring Corbin comes down. He begins to speak, and the crowd boos him. The two talk smack.
He's got heat.
Corbin says he did not get defeated by Seth at the show. It was John Cone who cost him the match, and not the former baseball player, the referee, John Cone.
Mm-hmm.
John Cone has been severely punished, which is kind of odd because he was on the show again. So I don't know what kind of punishment he received. We get to see that the. We also get to see that match again at Stomping Grounds. And also, he gets picked to. Oh, yeah, also, Corbin gets to pick the guest referee for that show. Seth says he can't get a guest referee. Oh, wait. Seth says that Baron can't get a guest referee that likes him because no one likes him. Sami Zayn, another guy who was screwed over by Saudi Arabia, comes out. Zayn says that he likes Seth, but Seth is caught up in a swirl of toxic masculinity with Brock Lesnar only because he's the champ. He suggests Boring Corbin should be champion. Kevin Owens comes out. He agrees with Sami about everything. The two go back. KO and Seth go back and forth. Seth Rollins makes his own main event against KO tonight. Michael Cole tries to save this by stating that he hopes WWE officials will let this match happen tonight. Stuff from Saudi Arabia. Michael Cole says that WWE is cross-cultural. Lars Sullivan versus the Lucha House Party. This is an elimination match for some reason. Lars beats all three men up and then focuses on Kalisto. He beats him up and pins him. Lince Dorado is next to get pinned. Then Grand Metalik gets his turn to get his ass whooped. Sullivan goes for the pin, but then raises him up before the 3 count. Sullivan goes outside and shoves Kalisto into the steel steps. Lars goes for another pin on Metalik, but lifts him up again. He goes to beat up Lince Dorado, then gives a flying headbutt to Grand Metalik and finally pins him.
Lars Sullivan is injured, by the way.
Oh, yeah? When did this happen?
This happened after this match, after Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. So they show Lacey Evans backstage. And look, Don, it's Becky Lynch with her boyfriend, Seth Rollins. They actually said that.
Yeah, they've been saying that for like about a month and a half now, ever since it came out on Twitter.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Still no on-screen acknowledgement of Charlotte and Cien Almas, though.
Wonder why. Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch do have a split-screen interview. They should go back and forth a bit. This Southern Belle character that Lacey has going on would be great for WoW, but this is awful for the modern era, reality era WWE. It seems out of place. Becky goes off, tells her to. I thought this was funny. She tells her to put on her granny sneakers and get in the ring.
This was actually a pretty good little split screen interview, old school.
Lacey couldn't keep up with Becky though. Becky would and all she could do was just deflect, which I guess is part of her character. I guess I don't know. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross backstage. Alexa tells Nikki that Bayley is a master manipulator. When the two were in NXT together, Bayley treated Alexa horribly, and I swear to God, Don, I swear to God, Alexa calls her a San Jose hometown hooker. But apparently she said hugger.
Yeah, hugger. Hugger.
I swear to God, she said hometown hooker.
No, and if she might have meant like, like
a wrestler, a hooker.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Right. No, she's a real shooter, isn't she, Don? The two hug and whatnot, and what did Alexa do to Nikki to get her to not want to be her friend or whatever? She's trying to win her back. What happened here?
No, she was just nice to Nikki, and Nikki, she's doing that thing where she's gonna eventually turn on her, but she's getting her on her side, so she's telling her all the things she needs to tell her and stuff.
It'd be great if, like, the whole time that Alexa thought she was playing Nikki, Nikki was actually playing her. That's kind of what I want to happen, but
don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, that would be a good twist.
Because Nikki's like, she's a crazy person. Like, why is she behaving normally?
She's not behaving normally. She's still kind of off her rocker a little bit, but it's just Alexa Bliss is trying to get somebody to back her up. Alexa needs a backup always.
Right. Let's see. Tasha interviews Baron Corbin. She asks who is going to be the special guest referee. He says someone who's good at her job, so she's out. Let's see here. Sami Zayn arrives and needs to have a parlay with Corbin. Corbin sends Tasha away, and we go to commercial. Becky Lynch and Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Lacey Evans. So is there anything been cut out? Actually,
you miss Miz TV. If Joe comes out, Joe gets he's talking with Miz, and then like everybody comes out. Cesaro comes out, Braun comes out, Ricochet comes out, and they're all talking about they want the U.S. title. And when Cesaro comes out, he attacks Ricochet, and they all start brawling. So that leads to this 6-man match between Ricochet, The Miz, and Braun versus Bobby Lashley, Samoa Joe, and Cesaro. Lashley takes out Braun, and Cesaro uppercuts The Miz for a 2 count. Miz counters the gotch and then hits the skull crushing finale. Then Ricochet lands on Cesaro with the 630, and Ricochet, Miz, and Braun get the win.
Nice. I was watching Dominion and your boy Tai Chi. He usually gives off a lot of Miz vibes, where he's like just a not very aggressive worker. But at Dominion, he actually showed out. I was actually impressed.
Oh, Taichi's been stepping his shit up for the last maybe 3 months or so, man. He's been killing it.
At first I thought that was his character. He's just a lazy fuck.
Oh no. It's just that it just depends on who he's wrestling. When he wrestles like Ishii and some of these guys like that, yeah, man, he turns
that match. He had that whole thing with Naito. That wasn't very great. That wasn't very. The whole thing where he had somebody beat him up and then he went and was really really lax with him.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the most lax match ever. Yeah, that was not. That did not break any. That did not make my socks roll up and down. But anyway, all right, back to Raw. Becky Lynch and Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Lacey Evans. Fairly decent match. Lacey still needs a lot of work. I was impressed with the sick Miss Moonsault that she did.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty. She looks really good doing the moonsault.
Yeah, that's the moonsault she did that fucked up Natalya. So that's the reason why she misses it now.
Oh, okay. They don't want her to kill anyone.
Right.
Becky chases Lacey. Lacey throws Nikki Cross in her way and then hits Becky with the women's right. Bayley goes off the ropes and Lacey hits the women's right on Bayley. Alexa sets Bayley up, goes to the top rope. Lacey reaches out her hand, but I don't know if it was just like a camera angle, but it doesn't look like Alexa actually tagged her. Alexa goes for the Twisted Bliss. Bayley puts the knees up. Lacey gets in, hits the women's right, and pins Bayley 1, 2, 3. I mean, have you looked at the replay of anything?
Nope.
I don't think she tagged her.
Nope. I only watched this stuff one time, man.
Okay, good.
I don't be trying to watch no replays.
But it was just weird how they immediately covered it up. He's like, she tagged her. You just didn't see it. All right, so yeah. So the heels get the win here. Pretty good stuff. That Lacey looks good. It's just she's bad.
She's green. Yeah, she just needs experience. She
has a presence in the ring.
Right. Right.
But it's just sometimes it looks like she just gets lost. But it's just I just chalked it up to her being you.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn walks into Shane McMahon's office. He wants to be the referee for tonight's main event, sort of like an audition for Boring Corbin. Why is Sami trying to suck up to Corbin?
It's not really to Corbin. It's just the damn.
He's just trying to fuck with Saz.
Yeah, and it's the damn wild card rule. So they have this wild card rule where they have to have these other people come in from the shows, and so this is just a way to get Sammy involved as the wild card. Yeah. Sammy and Kevin are SmackDown guys, but
is it a different person every time, or?
Yeah. They have you can have up to 4 different people from.
Because when I heard about that, I didn't understand how it worked.
Yeah,
I thought it was just gonna be those 4 set permanent.
Oh no!
Go back. So it's just anybody. All right.
Yep.
So any old body could just show up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shane says that he'll make Sammy the outside referee. Paul Heyman is in the ring. He says last week Brock did not cash in on Seth Rollins. He says Brock says he can cash in on Seth any night, but he will beat him up every night. So this is one time I passed by this biker bar at dawn. And the sign outside says ladies' night is Thursday night, but bike night is every night. So similar concept here, I'm guessing. All right, so Paul calls Seth a reckless thug because by giving Brock the beatdown, he has guaranteed that Brock will continue to be Mr. Beast in the Bank. So now Brock simply won't tell anyone when he's going to cash in. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I can just show up. I don't have to be at every show. He lays out different hypothetical scenarios, including Brock being a special guest referee at Stomping Grounds. He says Brock is going to put such a beating on Seth Rollins that it will break the PG era. And that's not a prediction. It's not a prediction. It's not even a spoiler. It's a guarantee. So I'm pretty sure I'm missing some stuff here. But the next thing I see is Shane and Drew.
The R-Truth and the 24 competitors, they got stuck in the elevator. And so
with
they're
EC3,
still,
right?
they're
I
still
heard about
stuck
this.
in the elevator. R-Truth has his phone, but he didn't have any bars. EC3 pulls out a fork and talks about they might have to resort to cannibalism. Then the Iconics have demanded top competition, and they brought in San Jose's finest. So the Iconics, of course, face off against a local tag team. Billy Kay hits a big boot at the bell and follows with kicks. Peyton Royce tags in. The Iconics do their pose. Peyton follows with knee strikes, and then they hit a double team knee strike, and the Iconics get the win.
Stop that. So is what's his name? Rockstar Spud.
Oh, Drake Maverick.
I keep forgetting what they call him there.
Yeah, Drake.
Is he gonna marry that tall girl? I thought they were already married.
He's getting married, he said, but I don't know what tall girl you're referring to, sir.
He was dating. Oh my god, you need to look her up. Hold on. She was in. I think she was actually in the Mae Young Classic one year. Really tall girl.
It's funny because they're in the elevator and R-Truth is like, "I'm scared of Hornswoggle," and he's like, "I'm not Hornswoggle."
Yeah. Okay. He was dating this girl named Renee Michelle. This really tall girl. I don't know if that's who he's marrying or what. You should Google her. Wrestler Renee Michelle. She's also an indie wrestler. I forgot what else she was on. But check her out when you get the chance, Don.
Will do.
All right. Yeah, they were engaged for a while. I don't know. There's been years though. It's been a couple of years. I don't know. All right, so Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre are out holding a celebration in the ring. Shane talks about beating Roman Reigns. Drew calls Roman the measuring stick in WWE. When he loses, it turns heads. Drew says that he's not only going to beat Roman Reigns at Stomping Grounds, he's going to humiliate him. So I guess we're having this match again?
No, Drew and Roman are going to wrestle at Stomping Ground.
No, they've had that match.
When?
Didn't they wrestle at WrestleMania?
Yeah, this will be the rematch of the WrestleMania match.
Remember, I was fighting Frostbite, so I don't remember too much. So Shane goes to pop some champagne. He pours a bottle into his Best in the World cup. The best Renee can say is, "Ew, dirty." They call out the Revival. Shane tells him that they have a triple threat match coming up and that they will be invited to the party if they can bring a little gold. The Revival versus the Usos versus Ryder and Hawkins. Ryder and Hawkins are interviewed. They say that they know their Cinderella story will end at some point, but the clock hasn't hit midnight yet. So the Usos are just killing everyone in this match. They put in all that work. Jay super kicking folks, and then Dawson tags in. Dash holds back Jimmy Uso while Dawson pins Ryder. So we have new tag team champions.
It's about damn time. Fucking Hawkins and Ryder. What an embarrassment.
Yeah, like as soon as when they won, I was like, what the fuck? So yeah. So now did they actually get to celebrate with Shane and Drew? Because if they did, I missed it.
Didn't show it.
Online.
Yeah, they didn't show it.
Okay. So Firefly Funhouse time. Bray greets everyone with Konnichiwa, my. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that part. Bray is fixing a sign, and the rabbit and monster thing are fighting. Bray threatens to sick the fiend on them. Bray thinks about it, does some morphing, and then gives the rabbit the floor. Rabbit says, "It's not cool to eat your friends, no matter how hungry you are." He says he's about to expose how things really are at the funhouse. Bray picks him up and wearing a clown nose. He's kind of sort of painted like the way Jericho does now. I don't know if you noticed it or not.
What do you mean playing what? By the way, Jericho does.
The way Jericho paints his face now,
Okay, right.
Bray kind of had that going on.
I didn't notice that this time.
Uh, so he
These things
has.
creep me out, so I don't really be
They
really into
don't creep
being
me out. They're
it.
just fucking weird. So he asked Rabbit why he would do something like that. He tosses Rabbit aside and smashes him with his big hammer. He asks Rabbit if he's okay, picks him up. There's blood on the floor. You can see Rabbit's guts. Bray tastes the blood and says, Yowie wowie, it's delicious. So is this some kind of subliminal thing that we aren't privy to? I mean, is he talking in code or something to
All of these little things are different
do they have little
reincarnations
little
of
drops in
him.
there or something?
They're all reincarnations of him.
No, I'm talking
So,
about the things that he says, like the whole eating your friends, and he's
oh,
about to expose
who
how things
knows,
are.
man? Who knows, dude?
Is he just like say? Is it more like the thing where he was just saying a bunch of random spooky shit? Didn't make any sense.
Nah, he's got a little bit more of you can follow what he's trying to say message in his thing. You just have to kind of.
I mean, because
It's all about the
even
visuals.
from the very beginning of it, when he was like "Konnichiwa," like isn't that like a Japanese greeting?
It might have been. This might have been their week to take their shots at John Moxley in Japan.
Ah, as I'm saying, like everything that all these characters say, they mean something to somebody in some way.
Hmm.
Like I think this is all just code.
Like Hussus last week was Husky Harris, and he was talking to him about, oh, you got to be in shape. You can't reach your goals if you're not in shape. And so that was like what Vince used to tell him. And then that's when Vince, they had the evil devil come up and then the muscle man dance and all that. So it's all about like, so now when you look at Bray Wyatt, he's all slimmed down and everything. He's gotten into shape. So that's what that one was about.
All right, but yeah, like he's wearing a clown nose and he has on like the Jericho type face paint. So I don't know. This was really weird. I'm kind of digging it though. We'll see what happens next week. So Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn is the outside referee. Anything? Is there any kind of gap that I missed?
Just that they're still trapped in the elevator. The elevator finally opens. They all attack R-Truth, but he escapes back onto the elevator, and that's how he holds on to the title.
Nice. All right, so Sami Zayn comes out and checks both men for weapons. Seth gets a deep search while Owens just gets a couple of light brushes. The match begins. They should have gone somewhere with that. Like Owens should have had a weapon or something for an object.
With all the checking.
Yeah, because Owens didn't get any kind of. He just like.
It's like, do you have a? He asked Seth Rollins, "Do you have a blade? Do you have a knife or something like that?"
So the match begins. Rollins goes for a pin. Sami Zayn hops up and distracts the referee. Seth gets it going in the ring. Zayn jumps up and reminds Rollins of the rules. Owens is putting it on Rollins mostly because of Sami's distractions and interferences. Rollins starts to gain momentum with the sling blade, but Owens cuts him off before he can capitalize. The two will go back and forth. Rollins climbs up on the top rope, but then Sami Zayn gets in the ring to check on Owens and demands that Rollins get down. After the distraction, KO tries to roll up Seth, no avail. Zayn checks on Owens on the outside. Rollins hits a suicide dive and takes both men out. Rollins hits a curb stop, goes for the pin, but then Zayn pulls the referee out. Sami checks on KO after arguing with John Cone. Zayn argues with Rollins, says he's an official. Rollins says he's not an official, calls him a little slimy, and then grabs him by the shirt. Sami calls for the bell, and KO wins by DQ. Rollins unloads on Sami Zayn. Boring Corbin arrives and beats up Rollins. Rollins makes a comeback, runs Corbin off. Seth hits Sami with a chair, and then gives him the Lesnar treatment. He strips Sami of his referee shirt and curb stomps him as Corbin looks on from the stage. And that is your Monday Night Raw.
Good main event.
Yeah, I really liked that it was different than what we usually get. They actually put some thought into this.
And Sami took a hell of an ass beating.
Right. But yeah, like if I'm judging just by the Hulu version, this was really good. like I said, like once when they strip away all the crap, it's a good show.
Look how much stripping away of the crap they had to do, though.
I know they took a lot of stuff out, right?
So
Yeah, I
it
don't know.
it wasn't that good live.
Like if they did this, and the crap that they and the stuff that they would have put on, they just put it like on like well, I'm just saying if SmackDown wasn't a thing and all we had was Raw and it was 3 hours, they could just chop it up in half and just put the rest on SmackDown. Or like the stories that they were gonna do and stuff. Instead we treated 3 hours of bullshit and then another 2 hour show on Thursday.
Well, it's just the way it goes. And in October, it's all going to change because Fox is going to want the big guns and the big production and all that stuff. So it's going to do a whole 180.
Yeah, SmackDown is not gonna be SmackDown when that happens. Because they're gonna have like a see, the thing is like why it's so different is because it doesn't have the spotlight on them. When it moves to Fox, everything's gonna come. They're gonna have to. It's kind of like when I say like if they actually put NXT on like on the main on the actual television and stuff, it'll
Mm-hmm.
be a lot different than what you get on the WWE network.
That's why I hope they never touch it. They were talking about maybe it coming to like FS1 or something.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Deal. I hope it doesn't,
No,
man.
yeah, like some years ago they were saying the USA wanted it.
Well, I heard in theory, if that was the third hour, like a Raw was 2 hours, and then that third hour was NXT, I would go for that if they could keep NXT in the current form, tape it at Full Sail and still do it the way they
Yeah,
do it.
I mean, like I said, I mean, if there was if NXT had that spotlight on them, it would be a completely different show.
No, I'm glad it doesn't. And Triple H is the man, the Booking man.
Did you see that thing on Twitter earlier when somebody was talking about like if WWE cured cancer, then like how people complain about it? And like the thing I said was like, oh, look at them finally giving Triple H a shot. That was my answer. So yeah, that was Monday Night Raw.
So if you can, according to Sam, if you can watch it via Hulu, it may increase your enjoyment.
It's fucking amazing, I'm telling you.
I suggest just go through and watch the YouTube clips. It's the same thing, but in like a third of the time. You can watch the whole 3 hour show in about 30 minutes worth of YouTube clips, promos, and all.
Uh-huh.
So since we are void of our SmackDown Matters correspondent, Miss Didi Jonay, this week, I'm going to fill in for her. And we start off SmackDown with Ms. TV.
Did we have that on Raw already?
Yeah, they basically gave you a whole bunch of the Miz right here in this first half of SmackDown. He has to follow the script, so he introduces Shane McMahon. He comes out with Elias and Drew. Shane has Greg Hamilton do the proper introduction. Shane brought out Elias as his musical guest. Elias plays his tune. Shane says he beat Roman, and he's just like he said he would because he's the best in the world. Miz claims that Shane's accomplishments are all tainted and that he and Roman Reigns destroyed him. Shane says he sees it differently. Miz then shows footage of Reigns commenting in Saudi Arabia about the loss, where he said that Shane beat him because someone gave it to him and that he'll beat Drew at Stomping Grounds. Drew says that Roman let his emotions get the best of him, but that he enjoys hurting people. And in 2 weeks, he will kick Reigns' head off. Miz says Drew's potential is being ruined because he's being Shane's lackey. Shane says The Miz resents him because Shane has his number, just like he does with Roman. Miz calls Shane talentless, and Shane offers him another shot at the best in the world on one condition. He has to beat Elias and Drew, and then he'll get his rematch with Shane. First matchup, The Miz versus Elias. Miz counters to drift away, but Elias lands a sit-out powerbomb for two. Elias heads up top and misses the elbow drop. The skull-crushing finale lands, and The Miz gets the win. So we go right into Drew McIntyre versus The Miz. Shane distracts The Miz. We get a headbutt by Drew McIntyre, followed by the Claymore, and Drew McIntyre gets the win. Shane gets in the ring, and he offers Miz his rematch right now. And so, of course, he attacks The Miz. He works him over, and he locks on the inverted triangle, and The Miz taps out. So you got Miz TV, and then you got 3 straight Miz matches. Too much Miz.
Oh, God.
I mean, I know they're trying to like boost up his babyface run and everything, but that was too much Miz.
And then he has a TV show, too.
Right. They show Sonya and Mandy Rose bullying Ember Moon backstage. Daniel Bryan says we're in for a treat tonight as the Planet's Tag Team Champions are defending their titles against the Yolo County Tag Team Champions. Heavy Machinery arrives and says that the champions are ducking them. Heavy Machinery says that they would be the champions if they got the title shot. Bryan says they haven't earned the title shot. So Heavy Machinery, they face off against the Yolo County Tag Team Champions. Tucker runs wild the bell. He tags in Otis. Otis follows with the Caterpillar. Heavy Machinery hits the compactor, and Heavy Machinery gets the win. R-Truth talks with Carmella about his 24/7 title run. He says it's ruining his life, but he can't let it go. R-Truth hides, but it ends up being a locked cargo box. Jinder Mahal finds him, and he tries to find a crowbar so he can get him out. Carmella versus Sonya Deville. Carmella gets the code of silence, but Mandy puts Sonya's foot on the ropes. Carmella dumps Sonya and follows with a suicide dive. Back in the ring, Mandy looks to attack, but she eats a super kick, and that's when Sonya hits a knee strike, and Sonya Deville gets the win.
Uh-huh.
Alexa Bliss, she's drinking coffee, and she meets with Nikki Cross. Bliss says there has been negative reaction to Nikki on social media following Raw, including from Bayley. Bliss got Nikki a match with Bayley tonight so that she can get some payback. The New Day comes out. They're here to celebrate, and we have a long promo session. They celebrate Kofi's win against Dolph Ziggler. Big E's back. Big E says that if he had a title run for every return, he'd beat Charlotte Flair.
That's not the first time that they've made mention of Charlotte, like in that kind of way.
They have this match tonight, and they says they're going to get it over with quickly because Xavier Woods has got to get back to E3. Dolph Ziggler comes out. He says Kofi betrayed him and the fans and is only still champion due to Xavier helping him. Dolph says it should have been him, but at Stomping Grounds, there will be no help and nowhere to hide or no one to save him, and then it will be Dolph. Kofi says Dolph attacked Woods, and that's why there was retaliation. Sammy and Kevin come out. Sammy runs down Kofi for his actions, and he says when Woods and Kofi cheat, these disgruntled fans don't care about justice. He and Kevin enjoy beating up the New Day, and Big E says they enjoyed Rollins wearing out Sammy's narrow ass with that chair on Monday Night Raw. Sammy says there should have been suspensions since he was a referee. Dolph says Kofi is the biggest hypocrite of them all. Big E says that Kofi's run isn't about them. It's about Kofi's passion to be the best. And Kofi promises to remain the champion at Stomping Grounds. They show Bayley walking. She's asked about Alexa Bliss's comments from earlier. Bayley said that she would defeat Nikki and move on to beat Alexa at Stomping Grounds. Now, this guy. Aleister Black, he cuts a promo noting that no one has answered his challenge. He has them open the door and yells at someone to come pick a fight with him. How about you decide to show up to an arena, sir?
Has he not been coming, or what's been going on there?
He's in the back or somewhere in this smoky field place offset from the arena. And for the past 3 weeks, he's been asking for somebody to come pick a fight with him.
Oh, okay. Oh, he
How
wants
about,
to have a fight. He wants to have a fight in the where the fog machine is.
how about you come out to the ring and challenge somebody? Then somebody might be more likely to come out there and do a little something. I don't get what, I guess they don't have anything for him, so this is the best thing they got for him. But I don't know, man. They really haven't done him or Ricochet a lot of justice since they split the tag team up.
I actually wasn't really too excited about that tag team to begin with.
It was like right when they started kind of clicking a little bit and they got some matching gear and they finally kind of realized that, oh, you know what? We thought we was going to come up here and be singles, but we actually might be a tag team for a minute. Right when they started getting their kind of tag team groove on, they split them up. Typical WWE. Bailey faced off against Nikki Cross. Nikki fights off the Bailey to belly, but Bailey hits a German suplex. Bliss distracts Bailey, and Nikki cradles her for a 2 count. Bailey then cuts Nikki off. She heads up top, and she hits the top rope elbow drop, and Bailey gets the win.
Nice.
Jinder, he's back with the crowbar, and he's searching for R-Truth, but the box he's in has been loaded on a truck, and it's headed to Monday Night Raw. And that Monday Night Raw will be taking place in LA. Kayla Braxton talks with Apollo Crews. Apollo talks about Andrade's attack last week, and he says when he gets a chance, he'll get revenge. That's when Zelita Vega arrives and says that Andrade is still upset and will make sure Crews doesn't have a match again. Chad Gable, he arrives and he just stands there taking notes. He also cut his hair. I don't know what they're doing with Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, but it ain't good. Main event time, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn versus The New Day. Dolph cuts off the suicide spear by Big E, but Big E cuts Ziggler off and he tags in Kofi, but Sami makes the save. Dolph then accidentally super kicks Sami. Kofi hits the Trouble in Paradise, followed by a second Trouble in Paradise, and he pins Sami Zayn, and The New Day get the win. And this was how SmackDown ended for this week.
So, what rating would you give this one?
SmackDown was probably about a 6 out of 10. It's just over a midway show. They don't have any. They're like I said last week with the wild card and people going in and out. They're kind of missing something. Like, you know, they don't have AJ anymore. They don't have Samoa Joe anymore. So they're kind of trying to find their way with Dolph and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn as the top, you know, heel guys and stuff. So they're still trying to find their groove, I think.
I see.
Before we talk about NXT, just want to let everybody know that they can support the WrassleCast by going to cspn.us, clicking on Keep Our Podcast Free at the top of the page. Support our sponsors, Amazon, Blue Apron, Busted Tees, Audible. Do some shopping with any of our sponsors. Some of your purchase comes back to the CSPN to help keep the WrassleCast free each and every week. So please keep our podcast free by going to cspn.us and shopping with our sponsors. NXT time, we start off with Candice LeRae and Io Shirai versus Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke. Io Shirai does the Baszler arm stomp to Jessamine Duke, and then she hits the double knees and the moonsault to the floor, and that takes out Shayna Baszler. Candice LeRae follows with the suicide dive. Baszler is then tossed to the steps, and the bell rings as Io Shirai kicks Baszler's ass in the crowd. Candice LeRae, she's fighting off Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, and then they are finally separated. So this is a no contest.
Have the other two horsewomen improved any since?
No, this was their first match in a long time, and not really. Jessamine Duke looks really good. She looks like she's improved a lot, but Marina Shafir still got a lot of work to do. They have a lot of work to do on their ring entrance and stuff. They didn't get no pop, and what they do in the ring is kind of lackluster. So, yeah, they got a lot of work to do. The Velveteen Dream, he cuts a promo just about his overall greatness. Then we get a Damian Priest, aka Punishment Martinez, video package.
What name did they give him?
Damian Priest.
All right.
And he's going to debut next week. Kushida and Drew Gulak in a submissions match. They trade strikes from their knees. We get a throat punch by Kushida, and the back handspring elbow follows that up. We get the PK, and then Kushida locks on the hoverboard lock or the Kimura, and Drew Gulak taps out. This was a really good technical match. Matt Classic, basically both guys trying to work in and out of different submissions and counters. Then Kushida kind of dirtied it up a little bit, and then he got the hoverboard lock and he got the win. Really enjoyed that. Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah are interviewed. They are insulted that Mia Yim thinks that she deserves a title shot. So they bought her a fashion, English, and grammar books to help her out. It's announced that in 2 weeks, Shayna Baszler will defend the title against Io Shirai in a steel cage match. Then they recap Mansoor winning the Super Showdown Battle Royal, 50-man Battle Royal. And next up, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong in the main event against Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. They all trade strikes. It completely breaks down, and everyone is down. Jackson Riker arrives and chokeslams the security guy on the floor. The Undisputed Era gets distracted. They get ran together, and that allows Danny Burch to cradle Kyle O'Reilly for the win. And that's how your NXT ended for this week.
Who is this Danny Burch character?
Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, 1-2. They've been in NXT for a minute, man.
Oh, who's Danny Burch? I don't know who that is.
He's a British guy.
Ah.
Yeah, he's like a older British guy, shooter guy, bald head. Good man. Team 1-2, they're the shit. If you're looking for our recap of the Super Showdown, you can find that over on our Patreon page. It's a part of this week's Dark Match. So subscribe to the Dark Match through Patreon at patreon.com/CSPN Media. Now, Sam, you wanted to touch on some things from Dominion before we wanted to get.
We kind of talked about it in the Dark Match a little bit.
Okay, all right. So
yeah, again, it's a good show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was real good. Check out Cast of Strong Style. We've got the review up. Me and Anwar Starwin, we share our commentary with color on the events that took place this past Sunday in Dominion.
Kind of odd that Yoshihashi would get the pin over Zack Sabre Jr.
They're setting up a British heavyweight title match between Yoshihashi and.
I know, but it was just like, what, really? Him?
Well, yeah, they got to have matches, man. They got to create matches a little bit. And plus, they're trying to get Yoshihashi over for the 27th time.
Well, good luck with that. Let's see, what other...
he did the same thing Titus did, but unlike Titus,
I know.
The ring and
actually, New Japan actually had some decorum and took it out of the of the actual video.
It's not in the replay.
Oh, it's not. They straight took it out. It doesn't exist anymore. Unlike WWE, which can't, they can't help but show that shit over and over.
Yeah, but yeah, Yoshihashi had to miss like 4 months because he had
And
to
he
get.
came back at the New Year's Dash, didn't he?
Yep. Had to get his face redone.
Jeez, he's still walking around with that Gandalf stick.
Yeah, he is.
But no, I enjoyed the show. The main event was pretty good. Man, Jericho, that man knows how to draw heat.
Don't
That post match promo.
he? And they
He's like,
set up.
"Hey, Tanahashi, I got something for you too."
And they set up a great match between him and Tanahashi in the future. So
He's like, Okada, enjoy that title.
yeah, he's like, I'm still the greatest in the world, even in this bullshit country.
I was like, man, that guy is so great.
Yeah, man. What'd you think about Double or Nothing? Did we talk about that? Did you get your thoughts on it?
Okay, since I had to watch bootleg, I didn't get to watch everything.
Right.
The Cody and Dustin match was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the other stuff, it was either hit or miss, to be honest. I was like, some of it was just like I didn't really get to the Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers didn't do much for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that match was really good.
You have to remember how I was watching it. I couldn't actually pay attention for too long.
Right. Did you you gotta get it you gotta get an unfiltered edition of it where you can really take it in. Because that match is really good. The Joshi match, the 6 women, Japanese women tag team match. That
was pretty good. Yeah, I did see that. I was kind of disappointed in Awesome Kong. She didn't the way that they were Brandy Rose was building her and the way they were talking about her. I just thought she was going to go in there and clean house. No, she spent most of the match on the floor. I know she's not the same Kong anymore. She got hurt, and after she got hurt, it just doesn't seem like it ever worked out for her again.
And I think it just might have been an introduction to get her just into the promotion. So they just might have just, get her for the pop, do what you can. And then we'll, once we get our TV going, we'll, you give you enough time to get in shape and we'll do what we need to do.
It's just odd. I don't know. It's just a really, really odd match. But
anything else? You've been watching any MLW?
I'm watching nothing. I barely had time to watch the Hulu version today overall. But no, I mean, I want to get back into stuff. But yeah, I watched the New Japan. But no, there's a lot of stuff I need to watch. But I'll get back into it soon.
All right.
Had to deal with a few issues here, but yeah.
That's life, man. Plus, you're not missing much if you duck out on Raw and SmackDown right now, to be honest. The other wrestling around the world is far more entertaining.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I still haven't even seen Phantasmo wrestle in New Japan.
Oh, really?
I've seen his matches in Rev Pro or whatever.
Yeah, Robbie Eagles and Will Ospreay are going to have a match in Melbourne in a couple of weeks, maybe a month. And then after that, it's going to be lining up for Phantasmo against Ospreay for the title, probably.
Well, isn't there a title match coming up that they're going to have somewhere?
That's Robbie Eagles and Will Ospreay in Melbourne.
Yeah, I know. I'd heard something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you recommend that I check out? Some MLW?
Yeah, check out some MLW. Check out.
I have to go all the way back to the stuff. There's like 8 weeks worth of TV that I missed. That I was
no.
The show I was. I actually want to watch.
If you go back, start at the special show that Selena De La Renta produced. If you start at that one and come forward, that's pretty good because they have like an open weight championship tournament that starts in that time frame. So yeah, there's
because like the show that I was at, I really want to watch that on TV.
Yeah. That's episode. I think that's episode like 49, 50, 51. Those are all the 3 episodes that were taped over WrestleMania weekend.
So Selena De La Renta used to wrestle.
Yeah, she
And
did. She got hurt.
I'm glad. Oh, is that what it is? I thought it was
Yeah.
just because she sucked really, really badly.
No. She got hurt.
She was, dude. She was like Lacey Evans level horrible.
But she's such a good talker, though.
Yeah, and that's what saved her. That's you know what I mean. Like, no, she was going under a different name. She wasn't going under Selena De La Renta.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, she was just really, really bad. I was just like, I feel bad for this poor girl. I didn't know it was the same person, but I remember someone brought it up, and I was like, oh, that's who she used to be. Wow, she was shit.
Well, she's definitely landed on her feet in MLW. She is the #1 heel manager on the show. And yeah, she gets a lot of TV time and she gets to talk a lot.
Right. I mean, like it's not just that she's a good talker, but damn it, look at her.
I mean, that's the obvious. I was trying to emphasize that she has more skills than just that.
Okay. Right.
So at this point, Sam, give the people your shout outs and thank yous for this week on the WrassleCast.
Let's see. Shout out to Don and Dee Dee, of course. Shout out to Greg. Is he still how's he holding up?
We talked to him a couple of weeks ago. He was on the show. He was doing okay. He was getting into the groove there. So every day and every week he learns a little bit more, becomes a little bit more comfortable, we guess.
Nice. So yeah, shout out to Nikki, of course. And I think that's about it. I haven't even been on Twitter. Like, I mean, I've come in and out, but nothing really spectacular or anything. So I think that's going to be it on my end.
All right. I'd like to thank Sam for being able to join me this week on this edition of the WrassleCast. I'd like to thank my SmackDown Matters correspondent, Miss Didi Jonet. I'd like to thank Greg as well, and everybody who listens to CSPN, Cast a Strong Style, and the WrassleCast. Program note, next week it will be the Ladies' Night edition of the WrassleCast, hosted by J to the Max and Miss Didi Jonet. And we'll find someone else to join them, so the shenanigans will ensue. Like I said, please support the CSPN, support the WrassleCast, CSPN.us. Click on the Keep Our Podcast Free banner at the top of the page. Go on to our Patreon page, subscribe to the Dark Match, patreon.com/CSPN Media. And also, you can buy some WrassleCast merch at our Teespring store, teespring.com/stores/CSPN. So there's a bunch of ways you can support the WrassleCast and CSPN. Please do that. We cannot do this each and every week without your support. So for my Rawcast reporter, Samuel Kalunga, I'm your host, Don De La Renta, and this has been episode 241 of the WrassleCast. Please stay tuned for the parting promo. All right, Sam. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
So there's this new girl who's been training at the trainings at that school in Atlanta, WGB 4 or whatever. Or
right.
You need to look her up. Her name is Jade Cargill, Cargill. Look at her.
Cargill.
Yeah, look at her physique.
Okay.
She's training and she's already been like in touch with WWE. I think she's gonna be just off looks, I think she's gonna be big time.
Okay. It's 18.5 seconds to go. Raptors are up by 1. They got the ball. In real time, the game is over, but I'm in streaming mode, so I'm like 9 minutes behind. So I'm probably like 3 minutes behind.
So I was mentioning this because I'm trying to get Azali to get us a hookup there before she becomes huge.
Oh, word. Oh, shit.
Because like fucking look at her, Don.
Oh, okay. I will. Hold on.
I'm just saying.
Cargill, Cargill.
Yeah, Jade, Jada.
Yeah,
Jada.
I got you. I got you. I will do that shortly.
Yeah, because yeah, she's already been at the performance center and everything. Yeah, I'm just trying to get on. I'm just trying to get in on the ground floor.
I hear you. Gotta get that stock at the entry level, right?
Right.
Well, all right, man. I appreciate you
All right, man. See
coming
you.
through tonight, and just hit me up again when you can do it. Like I said, next week is ladies' night, so no need. But
Hit,
after that,
yeah, hit me up after you do your Googles there.
okay, yeah, I will.
All right, later, man.
All right, man. Later. Oh, they got a fouling. What are they doing? Fouling. What are they doing? Oh, they threw the ball away. Wow.